So if you think prices are going to come down, definitely not the case. There is such a shortage of houses right now that prices have gone up despite everybody singing the blues. 9% this year. 6% this year. How did that happen? It happened simply because of supply and demand. There's a lot of buyers and not enough houses to be available, and that's what rules the market.
Do you see prices continuing that move to the upside?
I think the prices are going to go through the roof, especially if interest rates come down another point by year end. I think everybody and their mother and their in-laws is going to come out looking for a new house, and the competition is going to be so fierce that house prices will have to go up.
So when should people be buying?
Right now. But that's always my mantra. Always the best time to buy. Not because I'm an ex-real estate broker by any means, but I'm sure I'm biased in my attitude to it. But it always is true that the minute you go out in the marketplace, when everybody else is out, you always pay more. Why would you wait for that?
Barbara, a real driver here when we talk about the pricing of homes, why they have risen so dramatically has been because of inventory, that lack of inventory.
Definitely.
There has been lots of questions about what it's going to take in order to unlock more inventory, what the ultimate impact is going to be on the housing market. Do you see the inventory picture getting fundamentally better anytime soon?
It's gotten a little bit better, maybe to the tune of 4% more inventory a month in the last 3 months. But no, there's such a shortage of houses. I don't see how that's going to change. You know, the biggest problem, again, is interest rates. People who own homes have 3%, 4%, some of them even 2% mortgages. They don't want to give those up. That's why you have the bottleneck right now. That's why people aren't leaving their homes.
Is it still true that you can buy the house and then date the rate and you can refinance? Is that true in kind of a higher for longer environment?
You can, but it makes people feel good more than it makes a difference.
Okay.
Barbara, your advice to maybe people who are sitting on the sidelines, they haven't listed their home. They're a little bit nervous given the fact that we've seen that dramatic run up in rates. What do you think is going to be the key factor to prompt them? Is it mortgage rates below 6%? Or do you think even some improvement from where we've plateaued just below 7% is enough to move some of that inventory?
If it goes to 6%, people are going to get so much more for their houses. Why would they even think of selling? If it hovers somewhere in the 7%, the market is going to be so active and they're going to get more for their houses too. So it's a hard argument to convince a seller now's the time to sell. Life changes make it necessary for people to sell. But when it's optional, nobody's putting their house on the market.
I'm curious about your advice for first-time home buyers, obviously impacted by this settlement, but also a lot of people have just said, I'm going to give up. I'm just going to rent forever. Should people still have the goal of owning a home someday?
Well, first I'll say that rents are cheaper anywhere in the United States than buying. So logic would dictate, sure, why not rent? It's cheaper. But everybody, almost everybody, has this idea that the American dream is still owning your own home. But for the first-time buyer, they're the hardest hit. They have to compete the hardest, have the least amount of cash to compete, so they're not making cash offers, and they're losing 4 out of 5 houses that they're interested in. I would not want to be a first-time buyer. I don't know what's really going to give there, but it's not going to be easy.
Any advice then for the first-time buyer? Barbara, help me.
I must sound depressing today, don't I? Yes, here's good advice. Do what I did for the last 4 houses. Now, people might say, well, I don't have her money. That's true. But I've done this my whole life. Run into a community, see which houses you like, and leave love notes on every door.
And that's worked.
Yeah. You're allowed to leave notes. I love your house. It reminds me of my grandmother's house where I grew up in. The wallpaper, I noticed, or the garden, or whatever. Trim it up. Leave them a note. The last 4 houses I built were not on the that I bought were not on the market. I just picked out the house I liked best, and eventually the people called.
That's some great advice.
I love that advice.
Might take it, yeah.
I think sellers are going to kill us. They're going to get a lot of notes.
Yep. Hey, they're love notes. Okay. You can't be too unhappy. Barbara, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Really appreciate you joining us.
Hope I wasn't too negative today.
Hey, you got the pink.
You're a
We're very
realist.
happy. Yes,
Okay.
exactly. Thank you so much. We
You're welcome.
appreciate it.